Amidst escalating economic hardship, the proposed nationwide protest on cost of living crisis is taking over the conversation in the conventional media and social media space across the country. But in a swift action considered by critics as plans to halt the protest, the Nigerian government and the Labour approved the sum of 70,000 as minimum wage. This comes after the allocation of over 700 trucks of rice for distribution to the masses and the launching of the application portal for students' loan by the president. Also, the House of Representatives announced a 50% salary cut for lawmakers, urging Nigerians to stop the protest. But are these enough to assuage the anger among Nigerians and stop the protest? We find answers to this and many more questions tonight on Daily Politics. I'm Hamza Idris. Thank you for joining the conversation, and you can share your thoughts through a dedicated phone number as the program unfolds. But here in the building, we have Professor Alkasum Abba, a renowned political historian and a public affairs commentator. He taught for so many years at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, before he retired. Welcome to the program, Prof.
Thank you.
And we're happy having you.
Thank you.
Are you gearing up for the protest?
No, my time for protest has passed.
Okay.
I'm over 70.
All right, Prof.
This is the job for the younger people, a young generation.
All right, we will have your take on it.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, to set the ball rolling, here are some tidbits. The National Orientation Agency, NOAA, says it has identified sponsors of the proposed nationwide protests. There have been reports that some Nigerians under various bodies are planning nationwide protests between August 1 and 10 against the rising cost of living and the economic hardship in the country. In a statement on Thursday, Paul Odeyi, Deputy Director of Press at NOAA, said the agency has successfully identified the sponsors of the proposed protest and likely flashpoints where it may occur. Also, a famous Nigerian journalist, Dele Momodu, has told President Bola Tinubu that Nigeria is in big trouble. Dele was reacting to the removal of Senator Ali Ndume as chief whip of the Senate over his comments on the presidency. The journalist also advised the president to enforce discipline as a leader and listen to Senator Ndume. Meanwhile, the former chief whip of the Senate has reacted to his removal.
I'm a founding member of APC. In fact, I can say I was in APC before the national chair because I'm a member of the NPDP that formed the APC, joined the coalition that formed the APC. Still, the appropriation committee was given to me not because I was desperate about it. No, it was because I was begged to accept the position of chief whip, knowing fully that I led the campaign for emergence of Fabio as the Senate president, and I was begged to to choose whichever committee I want to be the vice chairman, and I chose appropriation in order to stand for my people and make sure that there is justice in whatever they do. So it's not like I'm desperate. They have been removed. And I learned, because nobody wrote to me, that I've been given chairman of tourism. I want to state here that I beg to decline.
That was Senator Ali Ndume, who represents Borno South in the Senate, saying he is not ready to be the chairman of Senate Committee on Tourism in the aftermath of his removal as chief whip. Prof, once again, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we should start with Ali Ndume. You know, he was removed for calling out the president or those around the president, saying they have caged the #1 citizen from understanding the enormous problems in Nigeria. His approach, was it appropriate, the Senate?
I don't think he was wrong. And as an elected representative, part of his responsibility is to defend the interests of the people who elected him. And I think the things that he said are not wrong. Maybe the APC people were angry with him because he's a member of APC. He's not supposed to say what he said. But the fact of the matter is that the economic situation in the country, the level of poverty, not even poverty, hunger, in fact, is the biggest problem facing people. You get shocked that even people like me, you on regular basis, you find text messages.
As a retired professor.
Yes, people begging for money. People who are not under normal circumstances are supposed to be begging. Very high-ranking civil servants from the state level who are retired, they cannot make ends meet. And this is a very serious problem. Very serious, extremely serious. And I think that it is important for the government and even the APC, the ruling party, to recognize that they need to take quick decisions and actions to mitigate this problem.
We deliberately brought you to the studio today, as we mentioned at the earlier part of the program. We normally open the line, but we want to understand from the political perspective vis-a-vis history. Is it normal for party men to call out their leaders that they are not getting it right?
Yes, you see, you need to understand that the presidential system allows that to happen. Unlike the parliamentary system, where the level of control of the legislators is extremely high. But in the presidential system, you can say anything as a legislator against your party, against your government, and so on. It's not supposed to be abnormal in the presidential system. And it's just that the party leadership did not think that a member of their party should criticize the government in such a language.
Can this give room to vibrant political party? Because we saw the call for the Senate to reprimand Senator Ndume following a letter from Senator Abdullahi Ganduje. I mean, former governor Abdullahi Ganduje.
Yes, you see, the problem we have in Nigeria is that the political parties are not political parties. I call them election machines because the political parties are just avenues for people to use to get to office, whether by election or by appointment. And I think this is the great difficulties. You know, I was in the PRP in the Second Republic, and I was explaining to somebody that in a situation like this one, what you expect is that the party, APC, has got branches in every ward of the federation, every local government, every ward. Then they have legislators who have officers in their constituency. Why is it that they are not using that machinery to explain to people? You should use your party. The party machinery should be able to reach the population. Then the legislators, is the time when the government is in difficulties, just mobilize them, go and explain to the people who have elected you, these are the things we are doing. But unfortunately, I think they are not doing the correct thing.
Now that it is assumed that political parties have lost their bearings, are protests normal?
Yes, protests are normal in a democracy. The only issue is whether these protests will be peaceful or will be violent. But you know, the Constitution guarantees political association, rights of people to express their discontent. And I don't think that it will solve any problem by stopping people from protesting. And you know, government is always, they will say, criminals will hijack it, and so on and so forth. But it's the duty of the police and the secret police to identify the criminals and fish them out so that they don't disrupt the peaceful demonstrations of people.
People kept making reference to the Ali must go of the 1978, protest. I'm sure you must be in ABU then.
No, I had graduated. I was doing NYC.
Okay, that time.
Yes.
Right. And then the anti-SAP of 1989.
Yes.
We know the outcome. And then the June 12th. I was young, of course, but it wasn't also palatable, and then the answers of the 2020, when a lot of carnage was, visited on people in Lagos and adjoining states. Of course, it was not in the north. Don't you think Nigerians should explore other options?
Well, I am not quite sure, but what I want people to realize is that, you see, when you are sitting in government, you have all the machinery to get information anywhere. And so you are supposed to take precaution before things get out of hand. You are not supposed to sit down when people say they are going to riot, say, no, you are not going to riot because some hoodlums will come and utilize you. Go and arrest the hoodlums and prevent them from disrupting peaceful demonstration. And I think that government needs to be very proactive. Don't wait until things get bad. Try to stem them before they get bad. And I think it is essential to understand this. And how long are you going to say you are not going to? From saying you stop people from peaceful demonstration, it will explode. So solve the problem which is causing the people to want to demonstrate.
But within a few days, we saw the launching of the students' loan. We've seen legislators, especially from the House of Representatives, cutting 50% of their take home. And then the president also announced 700 trucks to be shared across 36 and the FCT.
Okay. Let's start with the 740 actually, trucks. But you know that we have 774 local governments.
Yeah.
So that means that it will not even go around one truck per local government.
Which is 600 bucks.
It's 600 bucks.
And they said it's 25 kg.
So if you take this 600 bucks, it's just around 12,000 bags of rice per state. What is this going to do? It's really not much. And because also our system is so corrupt, you give it to people to go and give, they will take it themselves. They won't give it to the needy. So we neither have the reliable bureaucracy, nor do we have a reliable political party. Because if it were this, you could find people to distribute this. It has not been easy. Secondly, I want to tell you, this House of Reps shedding, is it
50%?
50%. How much is their salary?
We calculated yesterday what they will donate for the whole 6 months is less than 1 billion.
This is the point. I was going to say that the money,
less than 1 trillion,
money they get is not from salary. It's the allowances. So what they should do is to include the allowances in the 6 months donation. It will have an impact. And you could say, okay, you take for each member, go to his constituency or her constituency, and let's see how they will support the people. This is not going to be easy. Then, as for the loans,
yes, students.
Sometimes I laugh. You know why?
No, Prof.
Because we have now reached a situation whereby students graduate and for 10 years they're looking for jobs, no job is available. And you have given them a loan. So how do you expect them to pay this loan? You better scrap it and give scholarship. Because even in America where they do this, after some time, the students are not paying.
Even yesterday, Biden...
Yes, had to forgive.
Yes, and this is the third or fourth time.
Yes, this is even America where they are not paying. When there is no guaranteed employment, how do you give me a loan to say I should go to university? I finish and I am languishing for 5 years, for 10 years, no job. How do I pay the loan?
So some believe it is prelude to total removal of, all the subsidies around universities, like tuition and all that. Students will be asked to now start paying.
No, you'll be surprised. Tuition is not the biggest problem. Maintenance is the biggest problem in the university. And tuition, you can moderate it, but maintenance is not under your control. You see, the students, in the olden days, the government was feeding the students. And this stopped since 1984 under the military regime of Major General Muhammadu Buhari. And since then, now go to student hostels, universities, you get ashamed. Ratio this one, this one is doing this. And now that the food items are very expensive, maintenance is the biggest problem in the universities. I used to ask some of my colleagues, some of the students, half of the students have come back. Half have not. Why? Because they have no maintenance. They can come and pay the charges. You know, in the federal universities, there's no fees, you pay charges. You go and pay the charges, but you don't have money to eat food. How do you study? So, removing all subsidies becomes a problem. You know, I was not expecting President Tinubu to do what he did.
Okay.
You know, because it didn't make sense for him to stand before us on May 29 to announce that subsidy has gone, it has gone forever. In the first place, he's not the one who removed subsidy. It's Buhari who did it. Why did he want to come and advertise to the world that
he should have kept quiet?
He should have kept quiet and then see. I was expecting that in the 3 months before taking over, he would have set up his economic team to work out what to do with that subsidy. You know, are you going to utilize the subsidy fund? What has he done now? He has taken the subsidy money and given it to the state governments. Now in federation account, they distribute trillions. Before, they were distributing billions. It is under tinubu, they now distribute trillions of naira. And the biggest problem we face in this country is the state governments. They are really a problem where the governors, most of them, they are just demigods. They just do what they want. They control the legislature. They take the local government money and do what they want with it, and so on and so forth, and get away free. Yeah? And this is the problem. And then you give them more. If, for example, the federal government had decided to take the subsidy money and use it for palliatives, you see, it would have had greater impact. Now, you take 740 trailers and give it to 12,000 bags of rice per state.
Is it that the government is not learning from history? Because from May 29 to 2023 to this moment, I think they have rolled out this palliative not once, not twice. And can we say this has validated the claim by Ndume and by Dele Momodu that nobody is actually telling the president the truth?
I don't know. The president is supposed to have his economic team.
He has in fact, I have lost understanding of the layers of economic.
The economic team that is supposed to come and tell him this is what is going on. The president has also got security who will come and tell him there is hunger in the country, because the security know. DSS, they know everything. If you talk to them, they are everywhere.
Maybe they want to save their jobs.
No. My experience is that they write the report, it will be ignored.
Deliberately?
I don't know. It has always, the crisis we have been having in this country over so many years is not lapses in security. It is lapses in administration. You have very incompetent people running various tiers of government who don't seem to care. Even if they get security reports, they ignore it. I was a vice chancellor in Mubi during Boko Haram, and I interacted with a lot of the security personnel. In fact, I ended up becoming highly impressed by them. I asked them, when they tell me this, did you write this to the government? So we have.
They share some of their findings.
Yes,
with you.
Why? Because I was asking them, because it's Boko Haram, and as vice chancellor Mubi, I have to be careful. I also have to get correct information for the safety of the university and the students. And after a lot of interaction with them, you get impressed by them. But the real problem is the administrators, those who collect reports and do nothing. And I think this is the beginning of the problem. And I think Mr. President has access to various sources of information. And he can make use of that and not necessarily just relying on his economic team. And he could rely on his security apparatus. They can tell him if he wants to.
All right, Prof. I'm sure Nigerians are waiting to key in. Well, viewers, it is now time for you to lend your voice to the conversation through the phone number that will be displayed on your screen. Call, be smart, don't use foul language, ask Prof question, or talk to the government. Should the protest go on or not? Over to you. But Prof, before we get the call, the Director General of National Orientation Agency said that they know the people behind the protest, but he didn't mention any name.
Okay, I will say that is excellent. Go and arrest them and charge them to court. This is it.
And it's reminiscent to the days of Boko Haram when officials would say they know the
if you
sponsors.
Know, don't keep quiet. Don't just tell us you know. Arrest them and charge them to court for disruption. So you cannot say because you know certain people who are sponsoring. So the fact of the matter is that I want the government to recognize that there is very, very, very serious economic difficulties people are facing in this country.
All right, Prof. We have our first caller.
Okay.
It's Abu from Benue State. Welcome to the program, Abu.
Thank you very much. Good evening to Prof.
All right, Prof is here. Yes.
God bless Prof.
Okay. He said, God bless Prof.
And God bless Nigerians.
Thank you.
With leaders like this in Prof, we are hopeful that one day the Nigeria of our dream will come to pass.
Okay. All right.
I just want to ask a simple question.
Yes.
Is protest a crime now in Nigeria? Because we are alive as of 2012, we knew what happened. Is protest a crime? We should tell Nigerians if protest is a crime, so we will know. People are dying of hunger. People cannot even afford simple medication because of challenges, because of financial constraints. We all know that the problem is the forced subsidy removal. Just as Prof says, you are spending billions of naira in the name of buying rice. By the time you buy rice, what about the tomatoes? What about the Maggi? What about other condiments for the cooking? If you eat rice, won't you eat gari or eat beans? Why don't you look at how the poor man will survive? People are dying daily, and it's unfortunate.
Okay. Yes, Abu. Okay, a quick one, Abu. If you are asked,
yes,
what do you think government should do? Hello?
What government should have done was, instead of using that money to buy that rice, just buy a of rice, why don't you use that money to subsidize our food so the price will come down, so everybody will benefit? You are giving this right to not get to the targeted audience because there are some persons that the government will just consume those who will give him the right to share will eat the money. And matters in the market, how will she get the rice? How will he get to her? The Okada man on this, how will he get the share of the rice? And just how many trucks of rice for a complete state? Over how many million people?
All right.
Is that unfortunate?
All right. Thank you, Abu.
You are welcome.
Yes. He asked.
God bless Nigeria.
Yes. Thank you. He asked question whether, I know you answered it, maybe you shed more light, whether government should come out openly and say that, no, look, you can't protest.
No, I can't answer that question because I'm not an official of the government.
Yes, well, in terms of, yes, governance, all over the world, yes, unless you have maybe autocratic dispensation or something like that.
Demonstrations are normal. But if there are people who want to use it to cause disruption, this is the point I'm saying. It is the duty of the government to fish out these people and take them to court, so that the peaceful people can be allowed to discharge their responsibilities. See, it is important for government to understand that the economy is in a mess. And I think that the government did three things that has messed up the economy. The fuel subsidy, the devaluation of the naira, and increase in electricity tariff. All these affect production. There is no industry that will not cry.
Because of this situation.
Because of this. So if this, that means you have increased cost of production. You know, in factory they said fixed and variable capital. Variable capital is the input they use to manufacture goods and services.
All right, Prof, thank you.
Yes. If they increase the prices of the variable capital of the inputs, then the cost of the commodities will go up.
All right, we have another caller in the person of Andrew from Kogi State. Welcome to the program, Andrew.
Good evening, Prof.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, good evening, Prof.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Let's have your take.
This is Andrew calling from Kogi State.
Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to start by thanking the Prof there, your guest speaker.
All right, thank you. Yes, Prof heard you. Yes, go ahead. The protest, should it be or not? Yeah.
From what we are seeing and then hearing from social media and watching on the TV, it looks as if you see the truth in the country now, you cannot say it because you don't know who and who will come to kick you. Because we have been watching and also film on television. I think this protest that people are about to do now is being masterminded by people. People are doing it because they are hungry. Like me, I'm a student, I'm also a graduate. I don't pay now, I don't even have something to do. Like all this minimum wage they are talking about, how many people in Nigeria are receiving salary? You can't even afford anything in the market. What you buy today, tomorrow you go, you see a different price. So if you ask me what I will tell the government to do,
yes,
on my own, they should revise back the subsidy and maybe add a little money on the price of fuel. Because if this subsidy that they said is gone has affected everything. The farmer in the market will transport things to the market to sell, or use fuel. The students who go to school make use of transportation. So all these things, if you ask me, government should revise back the subsidy. Simple. That is the way out.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Prof, Andrew said government should revise the subsidy. Will you subscribe to that also? Maybe it will bring down the cost of production, the variables you're talking about.
I think the problem is just more than the fuel subsidy. Okay, if you revise that, what do you do with electricity tariffs?
Maybe they should revise it also.
And what do you do with the valuation of the naira? Because the value of naira was less than 500 when they took over to a dollar. Now it is 1,500.
Today, 1,600. Yeah.
To 1,600. So you see, this is an economy which is import dependent. Even our industries import raw materials. So when you devaluate, you don't gain anything because you are not selling products. We are selling crude oil, and then we use the foreign exchange to buy things that we want, and we don't even buy raw materials. We don't support. The support for manufacturers is very slow, because otherwise, how can you increase the electricity tariff? You are supposed to even reduce it for manufacturers, because if they manufacture, they create jobs and raise standard of living, and then we cut down on import of items, but nobody is exempted. And this is a very serious problem. This is an economy where electricity is not available. And I get shocked how, for example, this government, what do they call this road, Lagos Calabar and Lagos Sokoto, you take 15 trillion
for
coastal road when you have no electricity to run your factories, no railways to move you people and goods, because the railway is the cheapest means of transport.
So it's a misplaced priority.
It is.
Okay, Prof. We have another caller in the person of Shamaki from Nasarawa State. Shamaki, welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening, Hamza, Idris. Good evening, Alkasum, Professor Alkasum in the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the issue of cost of living, and at the same time, move for the nationwide protest, I want to recall the Lebanon. When ENSAS came during former President Muhammad Buhari, Netherlands refused to accept the ENSAS to happen. Instead, Netherlands want to move for this very protest. So I don't see it is very wise on that. What you don't want, don't do it for somebody. And in fact, there is hardship in the land. So hungry people is an hungry man already. So my advice to Mr. President, he should open all the borders in this country. If he cannot revive the fuel subsidy, he should reduce the price of the fuel, because as a result of that fuel subsidy, everything is calculated in this country. If a farmer farms and want to move his crops to the town, they will charge him on that transportation. So I would love him to reason with that. People are advising him, he should reason. Criticism is allowable constructively. So you should do something. People are suffering actually. People cannot longer, people before they live for hand to mouth. Now people cannot even live for hand to mouth. So this is my solution. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Shamaki. Prof, he's advocating that we should just open wide all our borders to continue flooding the country.
With what?
Everything.
You see, a lot of our neighbors depend on us. Now you don't know what is going on.
Okay.
Because of the devaluation, our neighbors find our goods cheaper. They walk and buy. Before, in the whole of West Africa, if you have Naira, you have money. You can go to their markets and buy with Naira. You don't have to go and change it. But so we used to have an advantage over them. Now they have advantage over us.
But this is curious, Prof. If we are talking about people have something to buy from you, that should strengthen your currency, right? Where is it that the government is not getting it right? To harness the potential we have so that if you come from Cameroon or Central African Republic or Niger, you use the Naira to buy.
The fear now is that when they come, they buy the food stuff we have, because it is the one that is very expensive for us is cheap for them because the exchange rate is in their favor.
The arithmetic is really difficult for me, and I'm sure for many Nigerians to understand, because we source for dollar to go and import certain things. Now, if people are exporting things from us, why is it that they will come with their currency and then...
You get surprised that, for example, in Mubi, the international cattle market, the cattle market, livestock come right from Central Africa into Mubi. All these are our neighbors. The livestock is not basically from Nigeria. So we are a market of these products. And because of that, people come and buy. What I also realized when I was in Mubi is that we spend foreign currency to buy, say, Honda machines. I still these machines, brand new. Then somebody will bring trucks from Lagos to Mubi, and they will come and buy with safer to Cameroon. So Cameroon didn't have to find dollar to import these things. They just come with the safer to buy in Nigeria.
Nigeria is the buffer zone of sorts.
Yes. They will come and buy. And as I look at it, I say, but we buy this with our foreign currency.
Yes.
Now they are buying
like Jinchen or
yes,
Boxer.
Now they buy it from us with the Naira. They will just come with their safer, change it to Naira and buy and go.
This is amazing.
This is what has been going on a long time. I left Mubi since 2014, and I know it's a long time.
All right, we have Alex also from Nasarawa State. Alex, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, let's hear you. Prof is in the studio. Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, first of all, I have to thank my Abba Prof in the studio. Has been making a very, very valid point. You know. Secondly, the situation of our nation right now is very embarrassing and but scary. Hearing people from some quarters calling for a halt on the Prof test, the Nigerian people are planning is even more embarrassing. Even you can't expect a child who is hungry to be laughing, and you know the situation is terrible. As it stands right now, Nigerians has no choice. And every Nigerian that care about this nation will come out and speak out, protest. We are coming for a peaceful protest, not a violent protest. And if the government think they can hijack this protest this time around, they are joking. Every Nigerian, wherever you are, be it whatever tribe you are, whatever religion, and you sit back that your religion or whatever did not permit this protest, then you are worse than the government that we are complaining about. So we are certainly coming out in numbers.
Yes, Alex.
Meaningful Nigeria is coming out.
Yes, Alex. Have you heard or watched clerics, especially from northern Nigeria, preaching against the protest? Don't you think people should heed their advice?
No. Okay. Anybody preaching, if you are preaching based on the Quran or the Bible against protest, then that is heresy. There's no religion that stops anybody from speaking out when you are being oppressed. There's no religion that does that. Even the traditional religion, they must stop anybody from speaking out when you're oppressed. So any cleric, any pastor, anybody coming out to say protest is bad, is not preaching from the gospel. So we're all coming out. We're all coming out.
Okay.
And believe me, even the security forces and they are all going to join us this time around because they themselves are not being fed well.
All right. Thank you, Alex, for calling and for your contribution. Prof, I asked him a question because many people are really trying to figure it out. Why are clerics preaching against protest? Some are saying these clerics should actually call out governors. You mentioned that governors are not doing well. And they should also call out ministers, legislators and all that. But instead, they are calling out citizens who are hungry. Are you suspecting there is maybe some kind of relationship between the clerics and those in power?
Yes, of course, it's normal. Clerics are intellectuals. In every society, intellectuals are divided into two. There are intellectuals who are part of the government, and there are intellectuals who challenge the government. And I think it is normal for us in the academic world to understand that some clerics call for ban on the demonstration, and some are also attacking them in the social media. So there is no unanimity of the clerics. Some will support. It's natural. You have scholars always who supported the government. I have always tried to explain, say, what happened in the 19th century. What's the difference between Hausaland and Borno? One of the fundamental differences is that the scholars in Borno have all along been part of the government. And so they block any attempt to change that society. In Hausaland, the scholars have not been part of the government. And that's why they criticize the government and they organize to overthrow the government. So don't be confused that clerics, they are intellectuals. Intellectuals, the government, intellectuals who support government and intellectuals who do not support government. It's normal.
But and it's like the opposition has gone to the masses. Political parties are so adamant and bereft of that vigor to speak out. What do you think is the problem? Because ordinarily, political parties should lead this.
No, the problem we have is that the political parties hardly exist. The ones that control government, and they are not different. I don't see fundamental difference between PDP and APC. And as a matter of fact, APC, the core of the APC was the rebellious PDP of the governors. If you remember the 12 governors and so on and so forth, who formed the new PDP, later they joined the APC when APC was formed. So the real challenge we face in this country is lack of political parties based on some ideology. Because you don't have the political parties coming up, okay, this is what the government is doing. This is what we think the government should do. But the PDP is not coming up with something like it, tangible, reasonable. You say, you are wrong. This is what we think you should do.
And we say we borrowed our democracy from UK, for instance. Look at what happened to Tories with the Labour. Anyway, we have another caller in the person of Pam from Jos in Plateau State. Pam, welcome to the program.
Good evening, the presenter and the Prof in the studio.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to say quickly, if I had roses in my hands now, and I'm able to meet the Prof, I would give him those rose flowers because he has really spoken the minds of Nigerians.
Prof, you have spoken the minds of Nigerians, according to Pam. Okay.
Yes, and yeah, quickly, I think, let me start from the solutions.
Okay, yes.
Number one, if at all we have serious people in elected positions, by now, they should begin to reach out to the people, consult with the people, go to your constituencies, all the legislators. It's not time to do politics now. It's time for governance. You need to go back to your people, speak to them, hear from them, so that when you go to the house, you'll be speaking what you see and heard from your people. But most of these people hardly visit their constituents, but they will tell you that they are representing the people. Now, one big challenge we have is we are trying to make Nigerians to be more docile, to be less productive by giving them palliative. Palliative has never solved any problem in any part of the world. Even countries that are at war, they try their best to ensure that they continue with local production. What has happened to our local productions in Nigeria? Back then, we have tire companies in Kaduna and other places. Where are they today? We used to have companies or industries, manufacturing companies, where they produce vehicles. Where are they today? Then we also used to have the tie and dye in Kano. Where are those things today? These were local productions that made every Nigerian to be so committed to improving and kind of boosting the economy. But we sit down each time, you share food, you share food, you share food. Are we bringing the food from the farms we farm as government, or we are bringing the food as grains that we imported from other countries? We are boosting the economy of other countries, bringing food here, then farmers can not go to their farms because of insecurity. Why don't we address that issue headlong so that people can go back to their farms? Because those people in the villages are the ones that are actually keeping the economy alive, but they are not safe, they are not secure. I learned recently that so many farmers across the length and breadth of Nigeria have deserted their farms, no thanks to the issue of insecurity. If we don't tackle this, maybe one day we will begin to go cap in hand to our neighboring countries to beg them for food. God forbid. Thank you so very much.
All right, Pam. Prof, you heard Pam? He's talking about legislators. They don't even go home because they are scared, maybe.
No, they are not scared.
Okay, then why are they not going back home?
They are too rich.
to go to the locality.
To go back to the villages. Because some of them, even the cars they ride, you cannot go to community riding this type of cars and expect that they will look at you with respect. Now people look at you with disdain. These are the people who have been stealing the money. This is the reality. Legislators' job is to monitor the government. But they are not monitoring the government.
They are in bed.
They are part of the government.
Is there any lesson from Kenya for Nigeria? Because Kenyans, they have started theirs, long ago. They keep, the president has been, doing what they ask, but they are still saying, no, we are not satisfied.
You see, government should understand one thing. Never allow things to get so bad, to reach a point where people will want to do demonstration. Sort this problem. If you even do something which people think is trying to ameliorate their problems, they won't want to disrupt that process. But unfortunately, I think they are not taking the necessary steps to solve the problem, because the problem is economic, the problem is production. People don't go to farms because of insecurity, and you don't have money to import food. And if you import, it is too expensive.
But remember the agric minister last week, he said in 150 or 100, yes, 150 days, they are going, food prices will crash.
Okay, we hope it will happen. It is not a wishful thinking of the minister.
Since the money to import is not even there.
You see, even if you import, it's so expensive. That is not rational. You see, begin to think that, say, by 2015.
2025.
By 2015, we'll go back.
Oh, 2015, okay.
Yes, a bag of maize was 5,000 naira. I remember I farmed in one village. By 2019, it had reached 10,000 naira. And you know what the farmers, because I met some of my economist friends saying 2019, Buhari was not going to win because the economic variables are not working. I said, no, go to the villages. This is not the economic variable. Somebody told me, if I now sell my bag of maize, I'll buy 2 bags of fertilizer. This is the level of economics that
resonate with them.
Yes. It is not this our statistics of inflation and so on and so forth.
As Dele Momodu said, there is economy,
And
yes.
also, these ordinary people, they don't take sugar. They don't take so many things that we worry about in the urban areas. I remembered one time I asked my husband, how many times do you eat meat? He looked at me and laughed. He didn't want to talk. When I put pressure on him, he said twice a year.
Anyway, I want your last word because we have come to the end of the program. What do you think Tinubu should do to avert the protest? This should be in less than 30 seconds, Prof.
I think the president needs to reassess his economic policies.
Okay.
And that is very important.
Okay.
Also, set the pace for industries to revive and start working. You need electricity. It's very, very important. We have to have electricity. If you don't have electricity, you cannot run anything.
Nothing will work. All right, Prof, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And viewers, we've been with Professor Alkasum, Abba, a renowned political historian who taught for decades at ABU Zaria and worked in quite a number of places. He has answered some of the questions raised and he has provided quite a number of solutions. We hope those that matter listen and they will act to avert the imminent protest across Nigeria. And that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative, and be sure to join Daily Politics airing every weekday on our special package of Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues as you did today. Thank you for being with us. I'm Hamza Idris. Bye-bye for now.